Hi, Nick Jackman here, Focus Gaming News. It's day three, SiGMA Central Europe. Simon Westbury, 1xBet representative, is here with me. It's good to have you.
It's good to have you. Bit jaded on day three, but it's been a good show.
This is your fourth show with 1xBet. How has it changed, or has things evolved as you've gotten, I guess, more comfortable with the client, etc.?
I think that it's interesting. I was talking to someone yesterday and they were like, Simon, you don't have a sales KPI now and you don't have this and you don't have that. But I realised actually this has been great for my career personally, and obviously it's not about me, but I'm now involved in some really high level strategic discussions to benefit the company. So yes, I don't have to make millions anymore, but in another way, I'm creating the opportunity for 1xBet to make more millions. So it's really nice to be working for a company that's like one of the biggest and most powerful in gaming. Our mentality's fit, so it's been joyous so far.
Cool. Going around here enjoying and just doing what you do, being enigmatic, talking the talk, and
Just
talking strategy.
trying to do what we need to do, because like there's many messages we're delivering. I know when I spoke to you previously, we've got two more licenses we spoke, like one of them being in Guatemala, another one we'll announce very soon, but I'm not going to give you that exclusive.
Cool.
So
Makes sense.
yeah, I mean it's always, you never know what you're going to wake up to, but it's always a good challenge and it's always great to create these opportunities.
Cool. And this is SiGMA. This is SiGMA Central Europe. You've been here before under different guises. What does it mean to you with 1xBet?
I think that this is, in a way, all roads lead to Rome, as they say. This is the finale of our year. It's the last show I'm doing. I've done four in like 4 months, so this is me retiring for the year for shows. But what a way to finish in this great amphitheatre to like just engage with the industry. Now, we're at the point now of setting budgets for next year. Other people are understanding, where we go in 26, because I know everyone talks about January, but we need to focus now to prepare for January in 2026. So it's been a really good opportunity for us to just touch base with the industry one more time before we retire for the year.
Great. We rely on behemoths such as 1xBet to carry out really good research, so we know the future. The player protection report. What were the key insights?
I mean, the thing is, it's not just a player protection report, it's a global series. So we started in Western Europe, as you know, and that was interesting because it was 60% gave their primary regulatory jurisdiction 7 out of 10. But then 43% of respondents said, hang on, we're not happy with the regulation. And then 26% said we need more clarity. And I think my point on this has been, and I've had some time to think since the Western Europe report came out, everyone looks at regulators, but actually it's not the regulators that we have the challenge with. It is the fact that we've lost the discussion in society. Everyone views gambling as bad, and it's the governments that give the regulation to the regulators. They have to then work out how to implement it. So from my point of view, it's now more, how do we engage with governments? Because regulation is never going to get more lax. It's only going to get tighter. So actually, that's probably not a bad thing if it's right. But the regulation from this Western Europe report was showing it was confusing. And I think there needs to be more clarity, more consistency, and key, more communication between regulators, operators, governments, because we need to put the player at the forefront of what we do, hence player protection, to ensure they have an enjoyable, entertaining, but safe experience. And we've started our second report. The research is ongoing with Africa, and then we're going to go to LATAM. So it will be very interesting to see the different lessons from different markets.
Looking forward to hearing them. But in terms of your communicating, this webinar, the player protection webinar that you're running in a couple of days, now is the right time for that. Why does 1xBet talk about that at this particular time?
Well, I think player protection is key to what we're doing. And when I next see you, hopefully in January, I'll be able to give you a really big announcement about where these roads lead to. I can't give you that exclusive right now, but it's one of the key pillars to what we're doing at 1xBet. We really want to drive that conversation, and we really want to be seen as a industry leader in terms of not just player protection, but moving the discussion forward in the industry to highlight player protection. Because you walk around this wonderful show, it's all about how we can make more money, which is great. We need to make more money. But actually, how do we make more money? Sustainably, but also making sure the player enjoys themselves. It's not like anything we do is a transaction. I don't deny that, but Christ, we're having fun. Let's make sure the player has fun, but as you say, in a sustainable way.
Oh, I think the main thing in gaming is let them play, let them risk, have fun, and maybe have a win sometimes.
The R2P defines the win. In sportsbook, it's a little bit more skill based in that, you know, people always talk about sportsbook. Operators can lose money on sportsbook if we get it wrong. The margins are lower and the risk is higher. But actually, the great thing about sports betting is that sports meant to be unscripted. We all love going to watch a football match, or boxing, tennis, whatever. So actually, if we just add a bit more fun and excitement to that unscripted experience, we're in a good business.
Oh, talking with your partners strategically, you're at the C level with the company. What do we have to expect in 2026 from OneXBet?
More growth. I think that we've touched on our new licenses. There'll be more licenses. We're looking at Western Europe very heavily now just to expand there, but we've got over 35 licenses. So it's a bit like, how do we keep going? And I think you're just going to see more momentum, more growth, and more desire to really shape this industry and engage. And I think we haven't always engaged as a company with the industry, and we're trying now, and we want to have those conversations, and we want to be seen as what we are, which is an industry leader.
Great. And bearing in mind that you haven't been here, been with this is your fresh this year, can you look back in 2025 at OneXBet and highlight some key milestones?
Yeah, I think that it's always difficult, and I'm very vocal because after this show, we're going to go into what I call the LinkedIn wrap-up series, where people talk a lot of nonsense about how many trade shows they've gone to and not talk about deliverables. And I think in terms of deliverables for OneXBet, there's a very high-level strategic deal that will be announced in the coming days, which shows our progression. I think also, our more licenses, and we've got three since I've joined. And the thing is, when we get a license, it's not just getting a license. We enter the market to be the industry market leader. We don't play at what we do. We want to win. We want to be the best, and we want to be the biggest. So I think, look at where we go in Serbia, look at where we go in Guatemala. So they're highlights because they're achievements. And I think, honestly, it's not really something that I can show in numbers, but the amount of people that have come to me and said, we're starting to view OneXBet a little bit differently now. You're a bit more open, you want to engage. So if we're moving the dial that the industry feels they can engage with us in a sustainable, friendly way, then we're doing our job. So I can't give you the numbers like I used to when I was CBR. I've done this many millions, but I can say we're moving the dial, and the strategic positioning we're taking will become very clear in 26.
So we're all looking forward to the next 2x from OneXBet. Thanks, Simon Westbury, for being with us.
Pleasure as always. Nice to see you.
Nicholas signing off from Focus Gaming News.